What have you learned from online dating? Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy. Thanks. Story 1. To not use online dating. Story 2. There's a whole lot of online and not a lot of dating. Story 3. That women enjoy hiking and yoga, which really sets them apart from the millions of other women who like those things. Also, they love to laugh and enjoy using cliches to describe themselves. I'm not aware of anyone who doesn't love to laugh. So at that point I realize I've wasted my time reading their profiles since nothing they've said really describes them as a person. Swipe left. Story 5. That I'm undesirable looks wise to that audience, so I deleted it all. Story 6. If you are a dude, have some respect for yourself and don't do it. Story 7. It makes it easier to meet people, but that doesn't mean it increases the quality of said people. Story 8. The only way people know how to describe themselves is listing what TV shows they like. Story 9. That rules 1 and 2 are the only rules you need to follow. I spent a year on a fitness journey after a bad breakup. Before I was 60 pounds overweight. That whole year I was trying online dating. Probably the same as what most of us here experience. One match a month asterisk maybe. Asterisk no guarantee for a date. But I still went to the gym 5 days a week minimum while training for a marathon. Counted calories. The whole thing. I finally landed a date near the tail end of that year. A whole year, no date. I lost about 50 pounds by that point. She was nice but didn't last. It's been a few years since then. Pandemic happened but I was lucky enough to snag home gym equipment. I was actually in better shape than before by the time things started reopening. 2020 to 21 was my most successful online dating experience in my whole life. I consistently had 2 to 3 dates lined up over the weekend. Some good, some bad. Shameless booty calls. Some flings. And a couple relationships. I'm back on now. Last January, I had 5 first dates in 7 days. Online dating is great when you're successful. When I was fat to just average, it was awful for self-esteem. It really is just that shallow, no matter what anyone wants to admit. I won't say it's easy to hit the gym every day and run a couple marathons. It's not easy, but it is simple. Getting fit is the #1 thing you can do to improve your dating experience. Story 11. That as a social digital space matures, it will absolutely go to shit. Online dating 10 years ago, not great, not terrible. More effort meant more positive results. Now, absolute garbage. From the constant attempts to nickel and dime by the company itself, the OnlyFans and Instagram influencer wannabes, to the straight-up scams. Get through all that and it still seems like everybody on there has completely lost any ability to have what I would consider normal human conversation. The whole thing just seems very toxic these days, attracting the worst the opposite sex can offer. Last time I used it I was like, this clearly isn't made for me and dipped out. Story 13. I'm ugly and boring. Story 14. A first date is a good reason to get excited, but you have to be realistic as to what one means. You're not there to fall in love. You're there to see if you might like to spend some time getting to know each other. Train yourself not to invest too much hope in a first date. If you meet someone really attractive, but you don't hit it off, it's okay. Don't linger on your disappointment. There are always more attractive, interesting people to meet, although if you live in a really small town, you may run out faster. Online dating will go much better for you when you overcome the illusion that any single date is especially important. Be on time, be gracious if they aren't, and try to have fun. If you feel yourself getting jaded or cynical, give it a rest. Don't position yourself to inflict bad vibes on anyone else. I got rejected for it a few times but just assumed those were outliers and assholes. Now it seems to be the norm. It's so bizarre and I don't understand it at all. Have genuinely been thinking it's like the goddamn Da Vinci Code or some shit. The only real reason I got was protection, which makes 0 sense to me. 1. Why in the modern world do you need protection? Were you not comfortable when single? And 2. Plenty of shorter guys like myself served in the military or have actual combat experience, let alone the fact that firearms exist. Here I go overthinking again. Story 16. How out of touch everyone is. The economy is fucked, and apparently I need to make $100,000 a year to be a potential partner. Story 17. Every woman I meet in my city is suffering from serious emotional issues. YTF do you get on a dating app, chat, go on multiple dates, appear interested and then say something like, I'm not interested in anything serious, I'm not in a good place, I'm still healing from my last relationship. It's maddening. Story 19. Go to Tinder.sub to verify my statements. Below average looking men pretty much have 0 matches. Average men swipe right on 50% of women. I did that too. Good-looking guys can allow themselves to be picky with less right swipes. Women swipes right on 0.5% to 3% of men on average women have more sex and dates from OLD than men on average. How? See next bullet point most women only date with top 10 to 20% on of men lookwise on OLD I cannot directly link other Reddit subs. Use this Google search https://www.google.com search q equals under plus advice plus roast plus me plus it plus seems plus like plus most plus people plus on plus here plus wanted plus to plus roast plus me plus more plus than plus get plus actual plus Tinder plus advice plus so plus go plus ahead plus I percent to 7 and plus feeling plus quite plus chilly plus for plus those plus who plus want plus genuine plus advice plus plus right plus what plus help plus me plus get plus more plus matches plus in plus the plus comments comma plus down percent to 70 plus hesitate plus to plus ask plus if plus their percent to 7s plus anything ... and amp semicolon spell equals 1 and amp semicolon sa equals x and amp semicolon ved equals 2 op ewi31 underscore vo 6 pf9 oxug underscore 0 hhyxvd dash aqbsg egqiqbab and amp semicolon biw equals 1781 and amp semicolon bih equals 140 and amp semicolon dpr equals 138 and click on the first search result that points to Tinder sub. You will see above statement in action. This good-looking guy had 13,944 matches, pretty much all active female users from his age group and area swiped right on him. Women initiated discussion with him. I had 0 matches with 50% right swipe rate living in a capital with 2 million people, not joking. I am a 3'9" yo ugly kissless virgin male. But you know, confidence is the key just as above proves it. D. He said this isn't a situation where it's finding a needle in the haystack. We're trying to find the haystack. That to me is what online dating is. Everything is such a mess, you got lost in the chaos and you soon realize you don't even know what to look for anymore. This is coming from someone who has currently been dating a young woman for a year that I met off a dating app. But ask me how much headache it took to find her. It was a lot. Story 22. Most accounts are bots and having an account is a waste of money and time. Story 23. Obese women have a way higher opinion of themselves due to the fact that they get dick regularly because men are desperate for action. Story 24. A lot of women list Spotify and wine as their interests. That doesn't really mean anything useful, doesn't really help set up an interesting conversation. Story 25. That so many people don't respect the fact dating sites are meant for dating, not your personal prostitution advertising pickup source. Story 26. No hookups always means hookups. Story 27. There are a lot of people trying to find the right person and not a lot of people trying to be the right person. Story 28. That I have the ugly. Story 29. The more a woman insists that she's looking for a serious relationship, the less likely she's to put any effort into finding one. Story 30. After attracting all the crazies, I've sworn off online dating. Examples include a woman sending me very explicit audio of how much she would choke on my dick about 10 minutes after we started talking. Another one using heavy meds that threw off her mood and made her batshit insane. Shouldn't forget to mention the one who replied with "I don't know" stuff whenever I asked her what she was doing. Honorable mention to that absolutely dim-witted one that barely understood how to set an alarm on her phone. That's what I have learned. People are either stupid or crazy. Story 32. It's really hard for average men to get matches and ridiculously easy for average women to get matches. This power shift is ruining dating at large because average women think they're better than 90% of men. Story 33. It's a trap. Story 34. That I'll be single forever. Story 35. Nothing good. Story 36. Everyone's been to Machu Picchu. It's a waste of time. Get little matches or match with people who don't talk. Story 37. Well, I learned that if I go hook up with a guy I met on Craigslist, I'll end up married to him for 15+ years. Results not typical. Story 38. That setting up dates from everyday life yields a much better chance at landing fun or a good partner. I just got lucky with my girl because I knew how to play the game and stand out. All the super good chicks are usually too saturated with attention. It's not impossible, but much harder. Story 39. I learned to have a lot more confidence. I went through a shit breakup and juice it wanted to try something different, or at least talk to one person. I had 2 to 3 dates a week, and learned in 2 months I'm a lot better catch than I thought I was. I then found my current girlfriend and called an end to online dating. Online dating dragged me out of a dark place that one shitty woman put me in. Story 40. Not to do it. Story 41. That I am incredibly unattractive, incredibly boring, or both. Lack of success with real-life dating had already made me suspect as much. Story 42. That despite my extreme mediocrity, I'm apparently within the top 10% of men. I never had any issue with it, and found quite a few lovely women from it. Story 43. The bleak and hope-crushing reality of the obesity epidemic. Story 44. My standards and everyone else's standards go through the flickin' roof, mate. Story 45. That few women will look like their posted photos. I know I looked like mine, because the few meetups I went to, it was them who identified me. One time, I happened to see one woman who was on a website. I never messaged her, but I recognized her by her very big boobs. She, on the other hand, spotted me right off. She turned directly around, and made herself scarce. I wouldn't have thought any more about it except she had purposely avoided me. I saw her just 2 minutes later, in an hostel that I was just in. I forgot something, and had to go back to it. Story 47. I've learned a lot about myself and how I react and interact with people. I learned what types of women find me appealing and which don't, and the difference between my type and what my type's preferred type is. This was eye-opening. I learned that I don't look like my race apparently. And when I do say I'm Latino, then many instantly think I'll be a certain archetype. This has led to both positive and disappointing results. Overall, I learned how to value myself, my needs and standards more. I feel these experiences have only helped me, good and bad alike. Story 49. That I'm a lot more attractive than I thought I was. Tried them on a whim. 81 matches on Tinder, and about the same amount on Bumble and 50 on Hinge. I recommend Hinge. High quality women, and not just physically. Story 50. I'm undesirable and will probably be alone forever. Story 51. That I'm not good enough for it. Story 52. That it's easy to get sucked into someone's image and portrayal as a first impression rather than get to know them accurately. Story 53. Mileage may vary. Met my now fiancée after meeting her online about 10 years ago. This was just before Tinder took off, if I recall, though. Took a while before I found a relationship. Story 54. To give up on ever having a girlfriend and life in general mostly. Story 55. A lot of women want me to pay their bills. At least I think they are women. Story 56. After being on dating apps for years, dealing with so much mediocrity and AmITheA, I thought I'd never find the one. The whole time never compromising my values or standards. I met my dream girl 2 years ago and haven't looked back. She's not from my home country, but we are now engaged, preparing for an amazing wedding. I feel in my heart for all of the broken people, men and women trying to find love and feeling like the system has denied them. Story 58. The 3 apps on my radar are Hinge, Bumble, and Tinder. They all follow roughly the same formula, right down to being able to purchase premium styles to encourage your odds of matching. These apps have a financial incentive to keep you swiping more than engaging as a legitimate means of finding a partner. I get you're lonely, fuck, we all feel that at times. But if you want better matches, you gotta be picky. Also, develop a personality in general. Be daring and try new things. Find ways to hold a conversation, and find ways to hold a text conversation. Also, start to get comfortable with taking more photos of yourself. Oh, and it can't hurt to get professional photos of yourself. Finally, all this shit will make you more confident, which will make you more appealing IRL. We're using apps to have someone to be with us IRL, but somehow believe that we don't need IRL skills to get that person. So take online dating seriously, but not that serious. Swipe left, be picky. If you get matches, strike up a conversation, and take more photos of yourself and look your best. With all that, you'll become more confident and self-aware, and you are working on yourself. More relaxed and confident you are, the more people come to you. And then you can be more picky about everything. I don't trust any woman who is even remotely good looking, especially if she is from a different country, to not be a scammer, or just trying to manipulate me. I learned that the only women I can possibly match with are foreigners, and because they are foreigners, that automatically makes me very suspicious of them. The fact that I can't match with American women is proof positive that I'm repulsive to women, like I have always suspected. Which also fuels my suspicion of any woman who shows an interest who is foreign, because if I'm universally ugly to American women, then it means there is no way in hell that foreign women can find me attractive, therefore they are just looking for an easy victim. Sorry for the rant, but I really need to get it out of my system. Anyway, that's what I learned. Story 62. Had decent success when I lived in the NYC area pre-2020 looking for a potential LTR. Granted, population density probably worked in my favor. Be very selective on who you swipe on, unless their pictures show enough of their interests and personality. Make sure to read their bio and see if you like them more than physically before deciding to swipe. Be intentional and specific in saying what you are looking for. Meet up ASAP, chat for a while first, FWB, casual, LTR, that sort of thing. Be patient. The population on most services is male-dominated by a landslide, and most women have inboxes and matches flooded with morons who cast a wide net, swiping on everyone and dropping whatever line the puas are selling these days. It'll take them a while to muster the desire to weed through that crap. Not being one of those guys probably will help your chances of getting replies. I've seen experiments where people will create profiles of obese or handicapped women and they always get hundreds of right swipes very quickly. Any women whatsoever get tons of matches immediately, but the vast majority of guys get very few swipes. It can be discouraging for a lot of guys. I still go on online sites every so often, and then I get burned out and take breaks from it. But it seems to be just about the only way I've found to get dates is using the apps, so it's quite hard to get away from if I'm looking to meet women. Story 65. Arranged marriages are very appealing. Story 66. I learned that a lot of women consider shopping as an interest, hobby. Story 67. Chicks are nuts. Story 68. At my age 50, 2/3 of a second of single women within my range are nurses or elementary school teachers. Story 69. That I'm not ugly, not amazing looking, but not ugly. When I was using online dating apps, I could usually get 1 to 2 dates per week. I ended up meeting my wife IRL, but I met some cool girls through online dating. Story 70. Most women are attention whores. Story 71. That it's all about good photos, but many men choose to deny it and to complain instead on the internet. Story 72. A picture can be worth 1,000 lies. Story 73. Not to take it to heart. Story 74. That some people will manipulate you and want to use your kindness, and I need to change my boundaries. Story 75. I've learned to have both patience with some people and also not to waste time on people where there's no spark or who obviously don't read profiles. Story 76. Swipe right. You can find happiness, love, and the one person that makes you smile and laugh every single day. Story 77. I am way more attractive than girls led me to believe in high school and middle school. Hinge has single-handedly made me way more confident than anything else. Story 78. That it sucks, but it is also some people's best option. I rarely, if at all, hit it off with someone outside of online dating, though not from lack of trying. It's discouraging, but the fact is that there are less and less socially acceptable places to approach and meet women. Online dating is just the most direct way to find a date for me, though it is still like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Trying is mentally taxing, and I take breaks from it for weeks, sometimes months at a time. Story 80. There are a lot women who are missing out on me, like, all of them. Story 81. I hate online dating. Story 82. It's basically bad for everyone that uses it. I literally quit dating for years 'cause of online dating. Story 83. That I'm a lot better looking in person based on the women I attract in real life compared to the matches I get. And I'm even way more funny and charismatic in person. Too bad I suck at breaking the ice with people in real life. Story 84. It's like being in a thrift shop. When searching for items, some are damaged, some are heavily worn, most things aren't valuable and have been in previous hands, but you have to keep searching. Because once in a while you find a diamond in the rough, and that makes what you went through worth it. Story 85. That even if I pay for Tinder, I only get women who are undateable. The attractive, kind women are unfortunately impossible to find online because those women have zero problem finding guys in the real world. Story 86. I learned that the pics of my penis draw men and not women. Story 87. We Westerners are really popular in the Philippines. Story 88. I thrive with the outcasts because I am one too. The only success I had dating was 10+ years ago when it was seen as something marginal. Nowadays, where it's the mainstream way of meeting people, I'd probably be more successful with whatever the weirdos are doing, which I assume is going out and chatting it up with complete strangers. Story 90. Everybody can use perfectionism as a shield to protect themselves. Girls are too big, boys are too short. It's so easy to miss opportunities because you're stuck in some video game perfectionist idea. That's the main reason online dating sucks. Oh, and all the human trafficking too. Story 91. A vast wasteland. Story 92. It mostly sucks. However, I learned that when going on blind dates with online people, go somewhere you want to go to regardless of if you get stood up or not. I got stranded at restaurants with a reservation a few too many times. My go-to move became Chipotle, cause you can always enjoy Chipotle. Story 93. Asterisk people lie about the age as they tell you they're younger than they really are. Even by 20 years asterisk people lie about their height. Usually shorter asterisk people lie about their income. Asterisk women are nesters by genetic design. Make nitrogen monoxide mistake. You need to provide the nest, care for the nest, protect the nest, and then let her take over. Asterisk if a woman talks in royalty using words like queen or princess, mind you, she's looking for servant and a benefactor. She thinks she's a special prize to be won over, all the while adding incredibly little to the relationship other than her perception of grandeur. Asterisk dating apps often have bots who work for them to communicate with men, giving the impression that the men are actually engaged with a legitimate and potential dating partner. Match. Com https://match. Com was sued 20 years ago from a man went on a date with a gal he met on the site who ended up being a hired girl who got drunk and spilled the beans that she was paid by Match. Com https://match. Com to go on dates with men but with no intention of taking the relationship any further. Asterisk many women are on multiple dating sites for the sole purpose of serial dating, free meals, free outings, vacations, and more. I know. I've seen some of the same faces for more than 20 years as I've helped friends with their dating app profiles. I've browsed and seen so many familiar faces with the exact same photos. Asterisk dating apps will take photos and profiles from one part of the country and set up fake accounts in other states without the knowledge or consent of the original poster. Saw it on Plenty of Fish. I know because a friend of mine in Tulsa, Oklahoma showed up in Los Angeles and she doesn't live there. I told her about it and it freaked her out. Asterisk dating apps have employees, mostly women, respond or engage with men on the apps so to drive up long-term purchase commitments, implying that the men think the app is successful. Asterisk many women are gold diggers and are always on the prowl for the bigger, better deal. Asterisk many women, if not most, want the bachelor type guy only, even though the women themselves are portly, beastly, or really beautiful. Asterisk many women Photoshop their photos to hide blemishes, excessive weight, and other physical unattractive imperfections. Asterisk both genders will do the texting thing. When a phone number is exchanged, then ghost. Asterisk men want to get laid quickly. Asterisk women want a commitment early on if they're attracted to you. Asterisk regardless of how independent a woman says she is, she still expects the male to put most the effort in the pursuing and the paying of dates. Asterisk if you swipe right, 9,999,999% men will never hear back from a woman. Asterisk women are very selective, fickle, finicky, ambiguous regardless of what they display, what they are looking for. Will find 1,000 reasons why they can't meet up with you. Asterisk women aren't the prize they put themselves out to be. Asterisk most guys may be socially awkward when it comes to online self-profiling and communicating while online, but better in person. Asterisk women who say they're happy to meet up for coffee will shift to an expensive meal if they know they can sucker you into it. Asterisk if she's really beautiful, has photos of being on a boat, or has many photos of her dressed very well, she's looking for someone with money. She's probably a pain in the ass and will milk the relationship till you dump her, which explains why she's on Tinder. Asterisk all dating sites bring out the same in everyone dating online. Asterisk men will get permanently banned from an app if he's sexually suggestive in his profile or photos. Women usually won't have any consequences at all. Asterisk some apps don't charge women to be on them, but use them to attract men who pay for services, packages. Asterisk if you go on Tinder and search the queries, the number of new available men, women in the coming weeks, months, etc. will be disproportionately smaller over time because the site depends on new signups. Asterisk a great many dating apps out there are owned by only one or two companies. Asterisk women are never really satisfied or happy. Story 95. It heavily skews toward women, in a market where already women favored. It allows men to take the passive approach instead of gathering the courage to talk to women in real life. All in all, make a profile, leave it there and see what catches. Focus your time and efforts on yourself and real-life dating. Story 97. I've only had it for 3 weeks until my winter depression set in, but it was actually quite okay. In fact, I used it for setting up dates to places I wanted to see when my friends weren't available. I'm bisexual, but one thing I noticed is that most women tend to not put in a lot of effort, both in setting up the date and in conversation. Maybe it's because they have more options in online dating, but the dates were overall much more exhausting and left me feeling like I was an entertainer who had to provide them with an experience. Although I met some nice people there, it ultimately didn't lead to anything serious. Story 99. That I am not worth responding to. Story 100. I had 3 dates, 3 women. First 2 didn't work out, the third I've been with for 2 years. It works for some. Story 101. Get hot or GTFO. Story 102. FWIW. I just married my partner that I met via Occupid.